How's it going, YouTube? We are back with another video. Today's video is going to be about the official announcement of uh, Beyblade Ireland and BBI Ulster, which will be the Northern Ireland's uh, sort of branch off from BBI. So um, today I just want to kind of like talk about it, give my thoughts on the most recent event that I just attended to, which was on Saturday just past. It was held in the Reboot Cafe, and that was actually BBI Ulster's second event being held. I also attended the first one, which was held in Carrickfergus in a store that was called Vintage and Vibes. It's actually a store that kind of takes me back to secondary school, as I would have walked past this shop probably numerous times being in Carrick. So, um, yeah, so yesterday, the 7th of September of this year, it was officially announced by Kenny. Kenny is the guy that runs BBI. He is the man, the myth, the legend. You know, he's that guy. He's that person, right? So it came from him, and he has officially announced that BBI Ulster and how much of a success that the event was on Saturday, excluding a couple of little hiccups at the beginning, which I didn't really know what they were exactly, but that was probably more from the admin side that knows more about that. But from my perspective, the event was run as smooth as it could have went, and I did attend. I did play. I came 22nd. I think there was like 30 people that had signed up, and out of the 30 people, there was about 25 attendees. So that was actually three more than what they had at the first event in Carrick. So there does seem to be a lot of interest around Beyblading in Northern Ireland and in Ireland, and I wasn't even aware of this. So if I could even just roll back a little bit, and even just give you a little bit of a history on how I came into the scene. So it was probably like October 2024. I had um, like an idea of Beyblading, right? And I started doing research and started looking up, kind of seeing where Beyblading was in today's age, as like the last time I would have even like looked at it would have been, I mean, I was like a kid, primary school. You know, there was kids had the plastic versions of these spinning toys, right? And I didn't ever have them, but I always thought they were cool, right? And so in October, whenever I started looking into it, I was like, I was watching the Japanese events. I was like, yo, this is cool, right? It's like my sort of nerdy, geeky side coming into play, where I'm like, right, okay, so. I was looking online. I was looking at maybe purchasing some products, and I was doing a little bit of research. You know, the usual. If you've never really come into something, you maybe do a bit of research, and it's like, what should I buy, right? So I did do that, and what was recommended was the likes of the Soar Phoenix, which is the Hasbro version of Takara Tomi's Phoenix Wing. So I think everyone just calls it Phoenix Wing, so I'm going to call it Phoenix Wing, and we'll always now call it Phoenix Wing because Soar Phoenix sounds. Yeah, I just it's I don't know why Hasbro needs to. For some reason, they changed the names from the Japanese versions. That's whatever. So I purchased my Phoenix Wing, which also came with a launcher, which was ideal because like I was brand new coming into it, and it was like I get a cool red coated Beyblade with reasonably good parts. I think even how the Phoenix Wing comes box standard is competitive in its own right. I think it's a 960 ratchet, which is very it's used in pretty much all competitive decks and Beyblade decks, and Gear Flat, which is also another good bit. you, which I haven't seen too much of. I don't really see gear flat. Maybe it was like more of like an early stage meta in Beyblade X, possibly. So yeah, so I bought my first Beyblade, and I think I just like sort of steamrolled into buying other products, like cheaper ones. They were Hasbro, and then I did start sort of going into the TT, the Takara Tomy blades, which are usually a little bit more expensive, just probably with import costs, and it's just a better value usually, because Hasbro comes with sort of these little throwaway launchers. They're not great. People don't really use them. They use the proper ripcord launchers. They're much more durable, and usually the Takara Tomy products will actually come with like a proper ripcord launcher or string launcher, right? So that was just kind of how I kind of came into the scene a little bit. It was more of like a collection type of niche thing that I was wanting to do. It was like, oh, cool, they're cool. I want to collect some. But then it kind of got to the point I was like, is there a scene in Northern Ireland? Is there a scene here on this island, right? And I started looking on Facebook. I was looking for different pages, and I came across the Beyblade Northern Ireland page, which doesn't have many people on it, right? I was like, there's not, there's a very niche, small community, maybe like less than 20 people. It could be more now. So I joined that anyway, and it seemed to have been quite a very slow page. There wasn't ever really too much getting mentioned. And then one day I came onto Facebook, and I had noticed that there was an event announced, a Beyblade Ulster event that would then be the event that I attended, which was in Carrick. So I went to this event, and I was so impressed that there was as many people there as there was, as I was expecting, maybe like 10, right, at most, just because obviously the Beyblade Ireland, or sorry, the Beyblade Northern Ireland page um didn't have much of a following, right? So I was like expecting a handful of people maybe turn up. And whenever I got there, and I went to the back of the Vintage and the Vibes shop, which was where they were holding the tournament, I was like greeted by, you know, at the time it was like 20 people, right? That was there. I was like, wow, like I was kind of shocked, and I was a little bit out of my comfort zone that day. Also, just with, it's just not something that I would do. Really, is go to like an event like that. It was just out of the ordinary. Something that I picked up back in October. I was like, is there anything going on? So whenever I saw this tournament being announced, I was like, I gotta go to this, right? I gotta go see what's up. So um, I played. I came eighth place in my first tournament, and a couple of, I think it was one of the Alex, not Milgo, not the guy that's running the show, but another judge, Alex. He came over to me whenever I was just about to begin uh my first round, or my first game of like the single elimination bracket, which I ended up losing, and that's how I finished eighth. But he was like, is this your first time playing? Like competing. I was like, yeah, I've never done anything like this before, and he was like impressed. He's like, very good, like well done. He got into this stage. I was like, thanks. And the guy that put me out of that tournament, if you don't know the story, so my very first round of the Swiss, I played Kenny, which, like I said, he's the guy in charge of Beyblade Ireland, and he beat me in my first round. I was like, oh god, like I actually didn't even know that Kenny was who he was, right? A cool guy though. He's got a sort of cool Asian aura type of thing about him, and I think that's what really sort of makes his company good when at these events, right? So played Kenny, got beat, and then in my first elimination game, I was up against Kenny again because I came in at 8th and he was first, so that's just kind of how the bracket works, I guess. You play whoever's top. Kenny beat me once again, and he put me out of the tournament. Still, I had no idea. This guy was, probably the best bleeder there on the day. So it wasn't until later on that I realized, oh flip, I was playing Kenny. I was playing the guy that runs the Ireland scene. So that was all cool. I dipped out that day. I had like a last minute little chat with Milgo, and if you ever hear me talking about Milgo is Alex, and he's the one that will be running up the Beyblade Ireland Ulster scene. So I said, like, when's the next tournament going to be? And he was hoping for it to be the following month, which would have been July, August. I didn't hear anything throughout August. I was checking the Discord, making sure I wasn't going to like miss out on the next event. So I had messaged him privately, and he let me know then that there was one in the works for September, and I was excited for that. So it got announced, and I attended. Like I say, I played, and great event, great turnout, just a great atmosphere, right? About like this community. It's like I said before, it was like me going out of my comfort zone to go to this in the first place, and yeah. So I want to congratulate Milgo and on the two events that has been held in collaboration with Kenny and BBI. I'm still not overly great with the names and that, so if there's anyone from this community that comes across this video, if I do decide to share it and you're watching, like come and introduce yourself to me if you ever see me at any of these events. I'll chat away to you. Like, I'm not, I'll maybe not like come to you, but like I am all for you coming to me and starting a conversation. Like I say, it's just not really it's just like me out of my comfort zone, right? So like if you see me standing aside or sitting aside and I'm just watching, I'm just enjoying the atmosphere at the end of the day. And I think everyone is so cool that's in this scene. I come from like competitive gaming and COD, and so like I say, it's completely different for me, right? So congrats, like I said, to Milgo, and the judges are amazing. They come to your games, they let you know this is how I pretty much judge, and it's like cool. 3, 2, 1, go, shoot, let's go. So yeah, congrats. I wish nothing but success for these guys. I think what they're doing is amazing. It gives me something to look forward to go to these events. And with that being said, I would like to give a shout out to let me just get him here, just so I get this right. I want to give a shout out quickly to my boy Batang. He goes by Batang. Cool Filipino guy. Me and him were chatting for a long time there on Saturday, and I'm not gonna lie, if you're watching this, Batang, there was a couple of times I'm like, what the heck are you saying? But like I was grasping pretty much a lot of what you were saying. But I wanna shout out yourself. You're definitely cool, and I want to thank you for giving me the heads up for this next event that I will be attending at the end of this month, and that will be let me just also get that, so I'm getting that correct. That will be the competitive circuit for the UK, the Beyblade National Championship qualifier. I am going to be going to that at the end of this month, the 27th of September, and that will be being held in the Northern Card Gaming. I'm assuming there's a shop. I've never been there before, but um, this event is also in association with BBI, so there's a link there, and I don't know how the link works, but Batang gave me a heads up that this was happening at the end of the month, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try get there. So we're going. I'm gonna try and make a family day out of it. I'm gonna get my Mrs. Taylor. She's going to bring me down to it. I'm gonna have the kids with me. If they need to go, if they're getting a little bit too much, she can maybe like take them to a park or something, right? So I don't want them sort of getting in the way, right? They're 4 and they're 3, and I mean they love people. They'll love the event. They actually love Beyblade too. I've kind of sort of brought them into it. They would be my my practice dummies, right? They like the, you know, they like to play with me on this year, so hopefully they can enjoy part of this event too. And we'll see how I do, right? I mean, anything's better than 22nd, which was what I just placed there on Saturday. So that will be starting at 1 o'clock, and that's going to be running to, I'm looking here, it's saying 6 o'clock, so it's going to be like a 5-hour event, and that's if everything's run smoothly, which I believe it will. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to just leave it at this video, right? I want to congratulate the boys. Shout out Batang for letting me know about this championship qualifiers for the national. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm gonna have to like do my research on this, because I believe the way the tournament will be run will be how BBI and BBI Ulster will be running their events. So I should be pretty familiar with the format, and we should be all good on that. So with that being said, we will, if you're there on the 27th, I will see you there. Come say what's up, and we can chat, and you know, maybe if there's a free stadium, if anyone wants to shoot it up a little bit, we can do that too, hopefully. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got. So if you do watch this video and you're from the BBI Ulster community, drop a comment down below if you're going to be at the national qualifiers, and if I'll see you there. And yeah, we'll call it there, and we'll say peace. And if you want to hit the follow button, hit the follow button. Stay up to date with everything I'm kind of doing on YouTube. I'm also on TikTok at Real Bappercat as well. That's kind of like, I've kind of re-entered myself back into content for anyone that doesn't know, just very recently there, within like the past month. So I'm kind of like spiraling through different things and different games at the minute, just trying to test and trial and error different things. So yeah, peace guys, hope to see you on the 27th. All right, catch you later. Bye bye.